Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the newest spoiler article for the final structure deck, the Red Rage of Relay structure deck. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. This is a lot of Cthulhu stuff, and it's very interesting. So let's start with Lunya. So Lunya, however you pronounce it, is Nyarlathotep back in her human form, after she was kind of purified by Kikuya. So she is a judgment of 4, energized red, and whenever a resonator you control attacks, she deals 100 damage to target resonator. So she kind of assists your other resonators as they swing in. So that's okay. It makes me feel like this is going to be a deck, structure deck that focuses on attacking a lot. And you'll kind of see where that comes from. That kind of makes sense too with Little Dread, and back when she was Little Red the Wolf Girl, it was a lot about swinging in. So then we have Nyarlathotep, the true false legend. So 1200, 800 human / Cthulhu. She's back in that Little Red Riding Hood kind of garb, which I think is pretty cool lore wise. Also, the card art here is fantastic. So she has swiftness and limit 2, so she only gets to get really 2 swings or a swing and a block before she's going to flip back over. She says, when this card enters your field, it deals 800 damage to target resonator. So she comes in and pings something for 800, and then she can swing in. So you think that you would naturally just kind of be like, hey, kill the thing, and then swing in for 12 and get everything good. But her judgment cost is pretty high for just that kind of effect. So not quite sure how I feel about that. And it says, at the end of turn, if there's no limit counters on it, put it into your ruler area as a ruler. So that's the one big difference with her limit ability, is that there's really no downside. So much like when she was Little Red the Wolf Girl, she would flip back over onto your side of the board. And that would be it. She has the same kind of effect here. She's essentially kind of like a reprint, but she just gets 2 turns to be on board instead. So that's pretty interesting. Moving on, we have Nyarlathotep, the Shepherd, 5-drop, 12/12 human Cthulhu. So Shib Nyarlathotep, who used to be the goddess of fertility, is now a shepherd of sheep. That's pretty cool. So she has limit 1. But her limit thing is, so limit is always the same, where, if she attacks or blocks, she removes a counter. So that's important to know, even if its text isn't here. When it enters your field, or whenever it attacks, though, you search your deck for a card named Gentle Goat and put it into your field, and then shuffle your deck. So Goat used to be the thing that you would bring out as well, Black Goat, but now we get Gentle Goat. And you can banish a goat to put 2 limit counters on this card. So she has a way to keep herself around. And at the end of the turn, if there's no limit counters, return it to its owner's hand, but no negatives there. So that's pretty decent. You have to kind of sacrifice the goats in order to keep her around. But once you get her out, even if she has to go back to your hand, she doesn't necessarily have that much done. Though, to be honest, by the time you've sacrificed 4 goats to keep her around for that long, the game's probably over. So limit at that point is not a big deal. Now we have the Gentle Goat. It is a 1-drop, 3/3. This card gains +200/+200 as long as you control a Cthulhu J/Resonator. So you got a Cthulhu on board, it's a 1-drop, 5/5. If not, it's a 1-drop, 3/3. That's pretty standard. I don't think there's anything wrong with that card. It's pretty straightforward and a good card to put in the deck. Now this card is very interesting. So Nightmares of Relay. It's a 3-drop quick cast. The target J/Resonator gains +10, -10 until the end of the turn. Now, the reason why this intrigues me so much is because, it's a triple red spell, which is pretty heavy duty, but that -10 defense is crazy. And this can pretty much kill anything, and again, it's gaining a stat neg, it's not dealing damage, so that's the other thing that's interesting here. So this spell might find its way into some other, kind of red control decks, I definitely think so, but the triple red cost is kind of interesting. Thinking about it from the world's perspective, I'm not quite sure if this card is worth me kind of heavily committing to red in that way, but we'll have to see with testing. And we have Lightning Strike. We've seen this before. We knew it was coming in the red structure deck. It is the Thunder reprint, essentially. 1-drop quick cast. It deals 500 damage to target J/Res or 500 damage to your opponent. And then, so, good card. It's going to probably go in any deck that has red as 4 of. You know, it's 2,000 damage and burn over time, so it's not bad. Then we have Hoster. Hoster's back. Also, a girl again. Weird. So he's gone from being a weird clown thing to another shepherd thing. So 3-drop 9/9, limit with 2, and it gains swiftness as long as your ruler is Lunya or Nyarlathotep. And then whatever it attacks or blocks, it actually burns something for 400. So when it's swinging, if it gets hit, blocks with something, or essentially it's going to be dealing 1,300 damage to whatever gets in its way. That's pretty good, honestly, in my thought. You know, if you're especially with the swiftness, you know, being able to come out, swing in 1,300 damage, ping something, that's pretty decent. And then again, it just comes back to your hand if there's no limit counters on it, but there's no downside to that other than that. So this is actually a really, really good card, especially for, you know, if you're going for like a red, you know, swiftness aggro deck. Definitely something to consider. Then we have Lunya's Best Friend, 2-drop 6/6, her wolf pal. Whenever it enters your field, target J/Res gains plus 200 until the end of the turn. So just enters, pumps up the dump for 200 attack, and there you go. But it's also J/Res, so that's important to note. So pretty cool. Now we have Phaley the Charlatan, 3-drop 8/8 vanilla. Nothing really too impressive there, but you know, 3-drop 8/8 is pretty standard stats, but we've seen other 3-drops with 8/8 that have some kind of effect, so this is a little disappointing to me. But her spell is very interesting. So Charlatan's Tact Tricks. So for 1-drop red chant speed, search your deck for a card named as target resonator or addition you control, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. But if you control Charlatan, you can put it into your field. So if you have something else on the field other than Charlatan that you want to clone, and you play Charlatan, then you can play her trick, and you can clone it from your deck. That can be a pretty impressive thing. It is a commitment of 4, and you do have to have the other thing on board, but if you think about it this way, you could just clone Charlatan. So like play Charlatan, play 1, and then you have Charlatan. So essentially it becomes 2 3-drop 8/8s for 4 will. That's decent. That's a decent ability. We'll have to see where this plays out outside of that. It's just kind of, she's a little bit lackluster for me to be able to consider really making use of this card a lot. So we'll see. Emissary of Relay is the next card here. We got a 5/4 swiftness. This is just straight up Cthulhu. So it's a 1-drop 5/4 with swiftness, but it says this card cannot attack your opponent. This is fine. That line itself makes this card fine in my book. Being able to have, you know, say there's a creature that you really want to deal with, drop a 1-drop, kill it, but it can't go turn 1 on the play, drop 5 damage at your face. Pretty balanced in my opinion. I definitely think this is fine for a swiftness deck. Now we have Relay, the world of no lies. So the insincere are devoured. So we have 2-drop red addition. When it enters your field, put a limit counter on everything you control with limit. So it just bonuses everything with limit. And then Cthulhu's you control gain +2/+2. I think this is fine. We haven't seen many effects that add limit counters. So be able to have a card that just naturally gives limit counters to everything, even if it's just a 1-of, is pretty good in my book. And then we have the Fire Magic Stone, which looks crazy and Cthulhu and dark, you know, kind of menacing, and I think that's fine. So overall, really, really cool stuff. But let me know what you guys think of the structure deck. Is this a structure deck you see yourself picking up? You know, do you think that Lunya has a place as a swiftness ruler? Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Looking forward to building Cthulhu swiftness stuff with her in the future. But for now, go ahead and like, comment, and share this video. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.